2021 Rolls Royce Ghost initially launched in the year 2009, and it I think was one of the most smartest decisions for Rolls Royce because it has been the most successful car for Rolls Royce in its history of 116 years. In this video, I'm going to be giving you a detailed review of this car, talking about first off the styling, then the performance of this car, not to mention the features, the practicality, and my favorite part, that is the key attention to details in this car. So be sure to watch this video till the complete end, and let's start with the review of the 2021 Rolls Royce Ghost. But before we start, a very special thanks to Select Cars for lending me this masterpiece for a review. They are the official Rolls Royce dealer here in the Delhi area. So if you're interested for any kind of Rolls Royce, the Rolls Royce Ghost, the Phantom, any Rolls Royce, well, definitely check them out using the links in the description below. And with that said, finally let's start this review. This new car is completely redesigned from the previous generation Rolls Royce Ghost. To my visuals, in my personal opinion, I could not find even a single similarity between this one and the previous generation one. That's right, we have with us a previous generation Ghost as well. Have a look for yourselves if you can find any differences. And as I said, I didn't. If you did, please do tell me in the comments down below. But what I think is that this Rolls Royce Ghost has been heavily inspired from the Rolls Royce Phantom. That's right, this designing cue, this striking appeal, even the engine, everything has been inspired from the Rolls Royce Phantom, and that's my own opinion. But something that I really do like about this car, and that is of the spirit of ecstasy. Well, obviously every Rolls Royce does get the spirit of ecstasy, but there is a small little change. Up until now, every single Rolls Royce has always had the spirit of ecstasy on a separate panel of the car, but not this time around. This hood is a single piece, and the spirit of ecstasy is the part of the hood now. And it's not just the spirit of ecstasy, the whole designing language of this car has changed. The previous generation Ghost was much more curvaceous. I mean, yes, it had a spherical design, but the curves were still visible. In this car, they have given a much more bolder, a much more stylish design, and that's something I really dig about this car. Take for example the headlamps. The headlamps have been elongated. They have a much more bold, a boxy design, as you may say, but they look much more stylish on this car, and it looks very cool. They've also redesigned the whole bumper. We have chrome elements in this car, as you can see over here and here. In the middle segment, you can see the radar sensor. And as you can see, everything about this new Rolls Royce Ghost has been changed from the previous generation one. But there is one thing that has remained the same, and that is the Rolls Royce grille. It's so beautiful, it's so elegant, and that is something that they would never change, and I hope they never do. Now, coming to the side profile of this car, you will quickly realize that the new Ghost is much more longer than the previous generation. It's 89mm much longer and 30mm wider than the previous generation. The design elements, that's something to just glare at, because if you look at the alloy wheels of this car, they have a very simple look, but they are elegant the way they are. The Rolls Royce wheel cap, I mean, that's something that everyone knows, and that is the RR logo, that is the Rolls Royce logo, always remains in its perfect orientation even if the car is moving, and they've achieved that with the weighted wheel caps. I mean, that's something that not a lot of people think about, not a lot of people will pay attention to, but it's small little things that like this that make Rolls Royce such a big detailed company. And however much modernized you may make a car like the new Ghost, it's so much more modern than the previous one. It looks so much nicer. But there are a few things that Rolls Royce will just keep old school. For example, if you look at the indicators, well, indicators are given over here beneath the Rolls Royce logo. Every other car manufacturer have now given it integrated with the ORVMs, but no, Rolls Royce wants to keep it old school, and they've given it on the front fender. If you talk about the keyhole, for example, that is given over here. Every other car manufacturer these days is trying unique ways to somehow hide this, but Rolls Royce says no, it's the old school way, it's the luxurious way, it's the elegant way of doing it, so just give it on the door just like that. And it's these things about Rolls Royce which I really like. No matter how modern they get, they always stick to the old school design, which everyone loves. Right, last but not the least, the rear side of the Rolls Royce Ghost. First off, the biggest change, and that is of the tail lamps. The tail lamps have now been integrated in this car so very well that they match with the lines, they match with the curves, they match with the aggressive design of this car, and it looks very nice. The chrome surrounding around the tail lamp, it's a very nice touch to the tail lamps. If you talk about the interior tail lamp design, it's much more intricate than the previous generation one, as you may see on your screens right now. If you look inside the tail lamp, we have a chrome insert around presumably the reverse light in this car, and in that chrome insert we have the RR logo engraved on it. Once again, it's something that you will never ever notice if you see a Ghost driving on the road. But for the few people who own this, or few people who see this car parked and are just, gazing at it, they've given that Rolls Royce logo, and it's the keyest, smallest little attention to details which matter to Rolls Royce. Other than the tail lamps, if you look at the whole design, it's a normal sedan type look, but they've tried to make it as coupe as possible because they wanted to make it much more sportier around, wanted to make it much more stylish, and that is something I really like about the Rolls Royce. If you look at the exhaust tips of this car, which may seem like they have dual tip exhaust, once again completed in chrome finish, but if you look closely within those chrome tips, you will actually see that they both have two chrome exhaust tips, so which means they have two on this side, two on that side, and a total of quad exhausts in the new Rolls Royce Ghost. Now the end of our styling segment is going to be with the interior of this car, where you are going to be bombarded with the nicest interior I have seen in any car. I mean, this right here, that's views on views. We have such a good choice of material in this car. Everything is either going to be metal, it's either going to be piano finish, it's either going to be solid metal, or it's going to be wood right there. And the contrast of white and blue in this car, it is so nice. Even the switches, if you look at the switch over here, this switch, it's analog, and you can see it has such a good weight to it. I don't know if you can hear the clicking sound it makes, but it's so good to touch. The AC vents of this car, completely metal. The way to open and close the AC vents, completely metal, no plastic anywhere. And the best part by far is going to be the Starry Night headliner of this car. As you can see, it's pretty bright, still you can see it over here, but imagine this Starry Night headliner with the shooting stars, with the constellations, with every single thing at night time when you're driving your Rolls Royce Ghost. That is going to be the most luxurious experience ever. Now if you're liking this video so far, be sure to give us a thumbs up and subscribe to this channel for very detailed reviews just like this one. That keeps me motivated to bring such reviews for you guys. Now let's continue with the next segment. So now that the engine bay is opened, if I talk about the performance figures of this car, as I told you in the start, the new Ghost has been inspired a lot by the Phantom. The new engine, well, it's the same engine that you get in the Phantom as well. The 6.75 litre V12 twin turbo engine producing about 586 horsepower and 850 Newton meters of torque. Now those are large numbers, and it's expected from a V12 engine. But what's actually crazy is that if you talk about this car styling, like I said, it's a much more sportier, stylish styling this time around. Well, the engine is much more sportier as well, because the maximum torque, 850 Newton meters of torque, is at your disposal at RPMs as low as 1600. That's actually crazy. This 2490 kg car can be sprinted from 0 to 100 in under 5 seconds. 4.8 seconds. That's so awesome. Now all of that has been powered by all-wheel drive, rear-wheel steering with a completely redesigned planar suspension system which will keep this car flat and leveled no matter what the condition is. This car has been made with 100% aluminum, which is better for weight distribution. And as we're talking about weight distribution, with the newer engine, this car has a 50-50 weight distribution, which makes this car much more stable. Now, if all of that combined isn't a recipe for an ultra luxurious sporty sedan, I really don't know what is. But anyways, before we move forward, a little fun fact for all of you. We all know that Rolls Royces are known for their sound deadening, the amount of silence they produce in their cockpits. Well, in this car, with the use of 100% aluminum, which is better in sound impedance than steel, it gives a much more better experience in the cabin of this car. And also, they've used almost 100 kgs of sound deadening material in this car to make the cabin soundproof. That is mind-blowing. Now, Rolls-Royce says that the new Ghost is one of the most technologically advanced Rolls-Royces ever produced. Take, for example, the headlamps of this car. The combination of LED and laser headlamps are capable of producing light that is able to illuminate 600 meters of road ahead of you. That is a long, long way. And it also has the capability of pedestrian and wildlife warning, not only in the daytime but also in the nighttime. We have attention assist in this car. We have the industry leading 7:3 high resolution heads up display. We also have a 4-camera system in this car, which is capable of all kinds of 360 camera views, including helicopter shot. I mean, I could go on, but that would make this video a day long, and I'm sure that you don't want this. So let's just cut it short, and I'll present you with a display of all the key features of the Rolls-Royce Ghost. But yes, I still will be telling you in detail about some of my favorite features of this Ghost. Alright, my first favorite feature that I actually want to talk about in the Ghost is, first of all, the doors. Obviously, we get coach doors in this car, the trademark of any Rolls-Royce. So let's just open these doors really quickly. And the feature that I actually want to talk about is of the Rolls-Royce umbrella. So you press this button and you actually have an umbrella with the Rolls-Royce engraving on top of it. So this is in case, for example, you're driving your Ghost and it suddenly starts to rain. Well, Rolls-Royce has thought of you not only when you're in the car but when you're outside in the world as well. You have a Rolls-Royce umbrella so that you do not get wet. Yes, one thing that a lot of people may not know about, that this pouch where this umbrella is actually stored is actually heated. That means that when you come back and your umbrella is already wet, you just keep it in that and it already dries up on its own because it's a heated pouch. And Rolls-Royce has actually thought of every single thing when it comes to any Rolls-Royce, not just the Ghost. And yeah, one thing that I must mention, that this umbrella feature is not just a proprietary feature of the Ghost or the Wraith or Phantom, it's in every single Rolls-Royce. And yes, we're still not finished with the doors because we still need to close them, and being a Rolls-Royce, they would never let you do any kind of manual effort. So you actually have a button given on the driver's side. Press that and press and hold that and it will close the door. Or if you're exiting the car, well, just press and hold the button given on the door handle and it should automatically close right up. Similarly, in this side, just press the button on the door handle and it automatically closes. That's just the Rolls-Royce way of caring for you. Now, the next feature of this car, once again related to the doors, is that once you open this door, you saw that the doors can automatically be closed with the button outside. But up until now, for any other Rolls-Royce, the customers manually had to open the door. You can close the door automatically, but you still had to open it yourself. But with the new Rolls-Royce Ghost, they have remedied that small little problem. All you need to do is just press and hold this unlock button, and as you can see, automatically the door opens. Again, if the car door would have been completely closed and you would have just pressed and held this handle, the door will automatically open up all the way so that you have enough room to get out of the Rolls-Royce. So the next feature of this car has to do with the windows. As you can see, the windows are right now half opened, half closed. If you look at over here, in normal cars you have just a single pane of glass, but in this car it's actually double glazed. Now this actually helps Rolls-Royce a lot in sound deadening, and it's a very good feature. I mean, that and that also the 100 kilos worth of other stuff that they have, well, built inside this car, so that the sound deadening is just perfect. Now the final feature of this car that I want to talk to you guys about is of the Spirit of Ecstasy. Now this Spirit of Ecstasy is obviously very, very expensive, and if someone wants to try and steal the Spirit of Ecstasy and they try it, well, Rolls-Royce won't let them. The Spirit of Ecstasy will automatically drop into the hood as soon as someone touches it. Now, I'm not going to try it out because to be very honest, I don't have that much guts, but trust me, it really does work. Starting with the practicality, we have the glove box of this car, but first, before opening it, let's talk about the material. I mean, this is such an amazing looking glove box. I mean, this is completely metal. We have leather everywhere. It's just amazing to even touch. And if we open it, it has a very hefty feel to it. When you open it, it opens ever so slightly and reveals an okay looking glove box. I won't say it's very large, but at the same time, I won't say that you won't even be able to keep some stuff in it. So it's decently sized. Could have been a little larger, but still you can keep a lot of stuff. Moving to the center console, once again, choice of material, white leather everywhere, wooden finish, metal inserts, piano black. Everything in this car is just so nice to touch. Nothing is plastic, nothing at all. We have two cup holders over here once you slide that open, and back over here, as you can see, if you open this part, it reveals a decently large storage cubby, preferably for keeping like pens, pencils, like coins, etc. over here. You can easily keep that over here, and then when you press this button slightly, it opens this armrest and you can slide it open like that, and it reveals a very large cubby for keeping a lot of stuff as you intend to without any problem. Once again, choice of material, completely velvet lined, metal inserts everywhere, lined by leather every single place you look at. The door pockets of this car are divided into two parts, which may not be visible on camera, but you can see the smaller divot over here. This divot is for keeping a bottle over here. Then you can keep some stuff as you intend over here. It's decently large. You can keep a lot of stuff, don't worry. Coming to the rear doors, they have a very similar design. As you can see, the small little divot over there, it's meant for keeping a bottle over here. And then you can keep some stuff over there as well. Now in the rear doors, you do also get Type-C ports for charging your mobile phones. So I think that's a nice touch. The seat pockets in this car are also very decently sized. You can keep a lot of stuff, a lot of magazines over there without any problem. But with the new Rolls Royce Ghost, you also get a tray table which can electronically be released. Obviously electronically, because you're not allowed to do any manual effort in a Rolls Royce. You can easily do that, and then it reveals a display as well. And with the button over there, you can press it and the display comes out so that you can easily see it. In the center console for the rear seats, you have this button, push it, and it reveals the dial for controlling the seat displays. So not a lot of storage cubby over here, but then if you press the back button, it opens this armrest. And once you open it, as you can see, we have a obviously lighted 12-volt charging socket over there, and then you have this decently large storage cubby for keeping a lot of stuff. Now coming to one of the most important parts of our practicality session, that is the trunk of the Ghost. So first of all, let's open this trunk, and it's obviously an electronic tailgate. Rolls Royce won't let you do any kind of manual effort. Just press a button and the trunk will open. And as the trunk opens, you may easily see that the trunk of the Rolls Royce is very large. It's bigger than the trunk of the previous generation one, and you can easily keep about 5, 6, 7 bags over here and go for a long weekend getaway in your Rolls Royce Ghost. And now for my final and my favorite segment, and that is going to be the details in this car. I'm going to start with the key. Now in the styling of this car, in the end, you must have seen that the interior in this car is completely white, and the majority part is white leather, and there are a few navy blue inserts as well. Well, the key of this Rolls Royce, the back part is completely white, and not just white with plastic or something, it's white leather. And this is custom built for the car that you have. For example, you choose your Rolls Royce to have a completely black interior. Well, the key of this car can also be custom made to have a black leather behind it. I mean, that is so cool. Once again, you're never going to know if you see this car on road, but the customer who has this car, it's a small little touch for him, and it's just so beautiful. The next attention to detail is on the interior side of the door. Now you would notice that there is no door handle in this car to close the door. If they would have given it over here, that would ruin the continuity of this place right here, which is not something that Rolls Royce wants. So what they did is they gave a handle over here, a place where there is already a divot for the windows. As you can see, we have a sturdy little door handle over here to close the door. That is so cool. The second thing is that they've given individual volume controls for every passenger in this car, given on the door handle right here. It's a scroll wheel, as you can see. They couldn't have given it on that center console because that can eventually fold up, and then act as a middle seat. So how would the passengers control their volume? So they've given it right over here. Once again, that's something that not a lot of people will think about, or they would think that it's such a small little thing. I mean, can't a person use the screen to control the volume? Well, they can, but these are the small things that makes your experience so much more luxurious when you own a Rolls Royce. The next attention to detail is of the RR emblems. Now, I've already told you about the wheel cap, which always remains centered, and I've already told you about the RR emblem, which is in the tail lamps, because I just saw it while I was reviewing the car. But I missed out the RR emblem that is given inside the headlamps of this car. Like I said, not a lot of people are going to notice this. I myself am reviewing the car and I noticed it till the end of this review. But for the people who really do notice these small things, it's a very nice touch for those people. And that is all for this segment. I know it's a very small little segment, but those are the things that I could find in the given like 1 or 2 hours that I was reviewing this car. I don't own this car to know all the smallest little hidden details of this car, which are like thousands and millions, because it's a Rolls Royce. But still, this remains the most coolest part of reviewing a Rolls Royce, for my personal opinion. And so that was a detailed review of the 2021 Rolls Royce Ghost. If you like this video, please give us a thumbs up. Comment down below what was your favorite part about this video, or if I could improve on something. Share this video as much as you can, and subscribe to this channel would be a big help to me, because that way I'll be more motivated to bring reviews such as this one. Thank you so much for watching this video, and I'll see you in the next one.